People around the world were expecting strength, confidence, and a sense of control. But instead, what they got was something totally unexpected. A quiet, private moment between King Charles and Prince William that said more than any public speech ever could. This rare moment happened just before a royal ceremony, but it was clear it wasn't just about duty. Something much bigger was happening behind the scenes. There was a storm building, and it had nothing to do with politics or royal gossip. It was something far more personal. And it all started with one announcement that no one ever imagined a reigning monarch would make. In early 2024, the United Kingdom was still adjusting to life under King Charles. After Queen Elizabeth's passing, people were watching closely to see how the new king would lead. The palace tried to keep things calm and ordinary by announcing that Charles was going in for a routine procedure to treat an enlarged prostate. It didn't seem like a big deal. The message was clear. Everything was under control. But not long after, that message began to change. Further medical checks revealed something much more serious: cancer. The royal household kept this information locked down. Advisors warned against sharing too much. They believed the monarchy should always appear strong, stable, and in control. But King Charles didn't follow that advice. Instead of hiding the truth, he chose to speak openly about it. And that changed everything. This was the first time in history that a reigning British monarch publicly admitted to having a serious illness while still on the throne. It was bold, it was personal, and it was totally unexpected. The king appeared not as a distant figure in a crown, but as a man facing a frightening reality. It was raw, honest, and emotional. And people responded to it in a way no one had predicted. The media didn't turn it into another round of royal drama. The headlines weren't filled with scandal or speculation. Instead, they focused on something everyone could understand: fear, courage, and the strength it takes to face an uncertain future. This wasn't just news. It was a story that people connected with. Suddenly, King Charles felt closer, more human, and more relatable. It wasn't about a palace or a title anymore. It was about a man fighting for his life and choosing to do so openly, even though he didn't have to. Inside the palace, the news shook the royal family. Prince William, who had always known that he would one day become king, now had to face the possibility of that day coming much sooner than expected. He was already taking on more royal duties, but this was different. It wasn't just about preparing for the future anymore. It was about dealing with the pain of possibly losing a father. William kept a calm and professional appearance in public, but behind closed doors, it was clear he was carrying a heavy emotional load. And he wasn't alone in that struggle. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was also dealing with her own health issues at the same time. But instead of stepping back, she stood strong. She became a quiet source of support for her family, handling public events with her usual grace while trying to shield her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, from the growing storm around them. William and Catherine faced the kind of pressure that would be difficult for anyone. Yet they continued to serve, knowing that the world was watching their every move. There were no dramatic speeches or public breakdowns. Just a calm, steady presence that reminded people why the royal family still matters to so many. Even Prince Harry, who had spent recent years at a distance from the royal family, came back briefly. He made a private visit to see his father. It wasn't about publicity. It wasn't even announced in advance. It was about something deeper: family. For a short time, old differences were set aside. The moment reminded everyone that at the heart of all the drama and headlines, these were still people with real emotions and real relationships. Queen Camilla also played a powerful role during this time. She stayed by the king's side from the very beginning. At first, she tried to protect him, to shield him from the outside world and keep the traditional royal image intact. But as time passed, she realized that this wasn't just about protecting the crown, it was about standing together through something deeply human. Her support became something much more than duty. It was love, strength, and quiet leadership. People began to see her in a new light, not just as the queen, but as a partner facing a life-changing challenge alongside her husband. By February 2024, the palace finally released a carefully written public statement confirming the king's illness. They didn't give many details, but they didn't need to. The fact that it was announced at all had a major effect. People who had once thought of the king as distant or out of touch suddenly felt connected to him. He wasn't just wearing a crown. He was living through something that millions of others understood. The royal family, usually known for silence and privacy, had taken a new path. And the result was powerful. The announcement also sparked change far beyond the royal walls. Health charities began reporting spikes in donations. Hospitals and clinics saw more people coming in for screenings and checkups. Cancer awareness campaigns got a major boost. All because one man chose honesty over tradition. King Charles's openness helped people feel less alone in their own health struggles. It showed that even the most powerful are not immune to life's challenges, and that admitting vulnerability is not weakness, it's strength. While King Charles continued his treatment and started slowly returning to his duties, he began thinking more seriously about the future. He knew that the monarchy needed to change, not just to survive, but to stay meaningful in a modern world. He started looking to William and Catherine, not just as heirs, but as leaders ready to take the spotlight. This wasn't just about passing on responsibilities. It was about shaping the future of the monarchy in a way that made sense to younger generations. One major part of this vision involved Catherine. Over the years, she had quietly become one of the most admired members of the royal family. Charles saw in her a powerful symbol of what the monarchy could become: graceful, strong, and relatable. He began making moves to elevate her role, not just in name, but in meaning. He gave her more visibility, more honors, and more responsibility. This wasn't just about being the wife of a future king. It was about preparing her to be a queen in her own right. Catherine's story is remarkable. She wasn't born into royalty or aristocracy. Her father worked in aviation. Her mother was a former flight attendant. Her grandparents lived humble lives. And yet, here she was, standing as the future Queen of England. Her background made her different from most royal consorts in history, and that difference worked in her favor. People could relate to her. They saw in her someone who understood real life, not just royal life. She met Prince William while studying at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. From that moment, her life changed completely. Since their marriage in 2011, she's steadily taken on more royal responsibilities. And after the death of Queen Elizabeth in 2022, her role became even more important. With each passing year, she's proven herself, calm under pressure, graceful in public, and caring behind the scenes. Her ability to handle her personal health challenges while still serving the public only strengthened her image. Now, as Charles looked to the future, he saw Catherine not just as William's partner, but as a leader. The monarchy was slowly moving towards something new, a place where strength and vulnerability could exist together, where tradition and modern values could meet. And Catherine was the perfect example of that balance. Her rise wasn't based on titles or old family names. It was based on actions, character, and the way she connected with people. William and Catherine are now seen as the heart of the royal family's next chapter. William, once the quiet heir, is stepping into a leadership role more visibly than ever before. He's not waiting for the crown to be passed. He's already helping shape what it will mean in the future. Catherine is no longer just beside him. She's right there with him, leading in her own way. Their story isn't just about royalty. It's about facing personal and public challenges, staying strong, and remaining grounded through it all. King Charles's health crisis has forced the monarchy to evolve faster than expected, but it's also given it a chance to become something better, more open, more real, and more connected to the people it serves. The idea of what it means to be royal is changing, and at the center of that change are William and Catherine, carrying the hopes of a nation that's watching closely. What started as a private moment between father and son, before a royal ceremony ended up symbolizing much more. It was a sign of a monarchy in transition, facing real problems with real emotions, and choosing honesty over appearance. In this moment of uncertainty, the royal family didn't fall apart. Instead, they came together, quietly, courageously, and with a new sense of purpose. If this story moved you, or if you have your own thoughts on the changing royal family, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this one, and share this video with someone who might appreciate what the royal family is going through. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.